events and the lives and all the stuff that I'm doing, I am moving towards a very busy closing of the week. I know it's Monday. It feels like I'm closing out a week. If you aren't aware, my name is Nic Carolambis, and I'm on a mission to help 1 million people start their own side hustles. And I'm very happy to be talking today to Lin, who is one of the people I've helped on my online side hustle academy. So Lin, thank you for joining me. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Hey, Nick. Thank you for this. It's a lovely opportunity and nice to spend time with you. What I do, my main hustle is I run a corporate gifting business. I've been in advertising and marketing most of my professional life. And what I'm also doing is starting a side hustle of coaching. So yeah, your input has been invaluable on that front.
Amazing. Thank you. So first off, why don't you tell me and everybody like kind of where you stumbled across my content and the online side hustle academy and how that came about and how you got involved?
Well, you're quite prolific. So I would
It's very
say
polite.
I can't remember where I first saw you, but I'd seen you on LinkedIn. I'd seen you on the Daily Maverick channel. And for me, you've just been around. So, but yes, I would say probably mostly on LinkedIn from the side hustle promotional work.
Awesome. And we've had our one-on-ones and we've had lots of conversations, but I think I'm curious what attracted you to the way that I coach and teach and the how I go about stuff. What was the value proposition really?
Nick, I think what really closed my decision was your sincerity, your consistency, and your willingness to your generosity. Every time I saw you, your message was consistent. You lived your message, and you were incredibly generous with information.
That's awesome.
You might be losing me. Is the
No,
line all right?
I've still got you. I've still got you. Don't worry. Thank you. I really appreciate those things. I do try and have a no bullshit, consistent message of I've built stuff before. Let me help you build stuff. So thank you. That's really kind. And then you were even on one of our launch events on Saturday. So what kind of value? I mean, we've got one more launch event tonight where I'm going to coach people or help people for 45 minutes and then talk about the online side hustle academy. You were on when you joined in cohort 2, you joined for that live masterclass too. Like, did that show you what was coming? Like, is that the thing that sealed you, or did you have a clear idea you were going to join the academy anyways?
I wasn't going to join the academy anyways. The live class for me gave a taste of what you have to offer, and having attended various or watched some of your videos and having attended, I think it was the second masterclass that I watched, I felt the value you were giving was so rich. And even in that hour and a half, the takeout was things that I could use. And my feeling was, if you were giving that for free, how much more would the actual course be useful and empowering? And I must say, I wasn't disappointed at all having done the course.
That's amazing. I hugely appreciate that. So let's talk about like the online program, the live calls. What was the real value for you? Because I mean, you've got business experience, you're running your own company. How did you find value in this program when you actually have some experience yourself?
I think the value came for me in the fact that you had a structure to the course. There was a full process which covers all the different avenues or aspects to consider when running starting a startup or running a small business, any business really. The principles apply to businesses of all sizes. And I liked the way it was packaged holistically, and the flow of the information from where you started, getting mindset right, looking at how you manage your time. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, nothing that you haven't said already, but I really enjoyed the way you strung it together in a logical sequence that it was like scaffolding. basics ready for the meaty nitty gritties of your individual situation. So I enjoyed that.
Oh, that's awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's like scaffolding that you can use to go and build any house thereafter. Um, so I think you were unfortunately on another program for the first couple of group calls, but then you did manage to jump on the last 4 or 5 group calls. What about the community aspect of it? Because I mean, I'm quite proud of the fact that I'm building a community of people that are like us, that are trying to build stuff with full-time jobs, always distracted. And you've actually just joined the new community platform that we're launching for this cohort. So, like, how did you find about other people in the cohort? Were they useful, and did you get value out of being on this group nature call?
It was one of the few times in my life I wished I could have cloned myself, because I did only join in week 3. I had access to all the material and I was going through it and I was watching the recordings, but I did feel a bit left out and a bit sorry for myself, having missed the first 2 live broadcasts. And when I joined, I was again sad that I'd lost out on 2 previous episodes of getting to know the individuals involved. I could see strong characters, inspiring characters, and it was really good to, even for 2/3 of that program, to get to know those people. And we've even managed to reach out to each other outside of the program, which also wasn't something I had envisaged or expected. That has been a real cherry on top. Some really useful people to include in my sphere of influence, and mutually, where we can be mutually beneficial. So that was a plus.
Incredibly, that experience from cohort 2 has helped guide how I'm pushing the community aspect forward for the future cohorts, bringing alumni back into the program, allowing you guys all on the calls, giving you exposure to the new students so that we can all help each other. And this new platform that we've launched that gives members the access to all sorts of FAQs and cool tools that I've seen you've been commenting on and trying to get feedback on. Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm trying to like expand this side hustle world so that we all can benefit consistently.
I see that side of what you've done, and the way the adjustment has as it's like a Kickstarter. It really helps somebody who has never ventured into starting anything before. There's so many leg ups, so many pointers, and even in the course material, there was plenty information that gives you a head start, that you don't feel you need to reinvent the wheel or try and be too clever, or it just reduces risk, where you're seeing something that works, tried and tested. And my thinking was, if it works for you, it will work for me. So
spot on.
Less risk.
It's exactly the whole point here. Is I'm not trying to be clever and I'm not trying to make things complicated. I'm trying to get us to sell. Like the huge emphasis, even in our one-on-ones, I remember just saying to you, go out and talk about what you're doing. Sell. Doesn't matter if you have a website. It doesn't matter if you have a Facebook page. It doesn't matter. Just go and sell. And I think that's so well framed that don't need to reinvent anything. Here are the tools we've used. Just go use them, like nice and simple. And I think this new community aspect is going to be so great for accountability too, that you can say to us, I'm going to try and make sales next week. And we can go, hey, Lynn, did you make those sales last week?
There's an accountability and a friendly, I don't want to call it competitiveness, but a bit of a peer pressure where you see other people achieving and you feel like, oh, A, if they can do it, I can do it. And B, I don't want to be left out. I don't want to be the one person that's trailed, So, and just to go back to what you were saying on the tools, what I enjoyed about the tools too, Nick, is that they're real. It's not pie in the sky, expensive. You're not punting somebody else's brand. They were real tools to use every day. I was very impressed with what was available.
Yeah, and that ties in to one of the event bonuses, which is the over the shoulder thing, which is my life. Like, it's all the tools I use. That's the cool tools that are in there are ones that I use every day. And if I don't use them, I'm not going to promote them because they're not useful to a side hustler.
Exactly.
So a couple of closing questions. One, and please don't feel pressure here, but how's the side hustle going?
Side hustle is doing very well. I think my angle was maybe a bit different to side hustle in that it's career based. It complements my existing line of work. It's more of an expansion on my career development. Mm-hmm. So it's a slow process. It's not a 6 weeks to first sale because there is training and a lot of learning involved. But having the foundations clearly laid and having done the one-on-ones with you just expanded my mind so much more to what I could do with my expansion. So I had limited self-beliefs, which I wasn't aware of. And you just opened my mind to, oh, wait a minute, it's not just this side hustle, but from that can be multiple others, which was very exciting, very exciting. Yeah. So I'm very well on my way. Let's put it that way.
I'm so happy to hear that. And what I want to emphasize to you and everybody listening is once you're part of this community, you get access to the course material forever, and you join the community for an indefinite amount of time. So you can talk to people about your side hustle as it evolves, even if it isn't in the first 6 weeks, which is super valuable.
Very valuable, especially when I think most of us think of having a side hustle. Having done the course with you and reminded again when I did the masterclass on Saturday, is that it's not just one side hustle, but multiple side hustles. And you learn each time you go, and you appreciate that material each time even more, because various aspects of material becomes relevant to the next side hustle. So I'm very grateful to have access to that material indefinitely.
Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, I'm so glad to hear you say all these things, because it's how I built this, that you're layering these skills that you can use indefinitely into the future for every business you build. So then what would you say to yourself before you joined the program to convince yourself to join the program now that you've been through it?
I said to myself, just do it. And I'm very glad I did. And I would.
Awesome.
Have absolutely no regrets.
That's amazing. I mean, I hugely appreciate the kind words. And in the last thing is, what would you say to somebody considering starting to get them over that hump? Like, what's the thing that would go, yeah, this is the thing for me?
I would say take the plunge and get the benefit of the material so as to fast track your idea. Find out if your idea is viable, see where the loopholes are, and get going quickly. It just is a very comprehensive, effective tool to get your side hustle going. And even if this particular idea you might have isn't especially viable, you start understanding what is, and it gives you that much more confidence to get going. And I say, side hustle life is the way to go. It really is. So
awesome.
No hesitation at all from me.
Lin, thank you so much for your time and for being part of the community. When everybody joins the Side Hustle Academy, you'll be able to engage with Lin on our community platform and ask her questions about her side hustle. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time, Lin.
You're welcome. Thanks, Nic. All the best.
Cheers.